Hi guys, Daniel here. I'm here at John Brown's house. Yes, that John Brown. Same one we've read about multiple times, the abolitionist, and the infamous Harper's Ferry. Some of you might know he lived in Akron for a decade, from around 1844 to 1854. He worked with the son of Akron's founder, Simon Perkins, on a sheep farm. John Brown was a well-known sheep farmer and was recruited by Simon Perkins to come and build a new business with him after John Brown had filed bankruptcy, so his family moved here. With that brought, obviously his belief in the freeing of the slaves and the abolitionist movement, and even obviously some free soil party would find roots here. The house, I'll take you around it. There's a mural on the front door. Unfortunately, they are renovating and remodeling, so I can't get in at this point. But before I do that, I'm going to show you the historical markers, and then we'll take a quick walk around. As I approach him, that is Colonel Perkins' mansion. That's across the street. It's kind of hard to believe here at Copley Road and Diagonal and Portage Path intersection. It was once farmland, but it was. And if you're not sure, I'm in Akron, Ohio, if you don't recognize the street names. I'll pause here so you can read it a bit. And it just talks about Portage Path and just being part of the trail and the river. It's the original, historical marker there. And then you come across to here, this one talks about John Brown himself, the Underground Railroad, which some of you may or may not know. Akron had a fairly extensive Underground Railroad. Kentucky was a slave state, Ohio was a free state, and Canada obviously was where many would like to go because they were a free country at that point. Hopefully you guys can read that there. It gives you a little idea and talks about, a nickname that he was given, and then obviously the Harper's Ferry incident in 1859. As you can see, and books talked about it, but the Harper's Ferry incident was a significant role, and some people even argue that it triggered the Civil War. Let me pause this, and I will take you around the house and upstairs and show you some video. I'm going to show you some video through the window. Some of their items are still there, like with a lot of historical homes, and if you want to call it a museum or whatever you'd like to. This is kind of what's left of the yard. Nice sized yard, if you will. Picket fence and the stone. There is a sign just showing what phase they're in. We're partially funded. Obviously, the Summit Historical Society, and much of the info I got on this came from that. So you can either look up John Brown House or even just directly go to the Historical Society. And you can find information on other historical homes, locations that were all relevant during the time frame we're studying. Obviously, there is a depiction of a painting of John Brown with the home. I would assume, obviously, in its original state when he was living here and farming. What we would consider a typical house by today's standards. I think in the mid-1800s, it would have been a mansion. See how they're returning it to the materials that would have been used when it was built, and so it's obviously more authentic to the time frame of John Brown and his family living here prior to moving north. I'm not sure you can see that, but it's a pretty cool acid etched portrait into the window of the door. See if I can. Artifacts of the family obviously are still in here. there's a lot of history here. It's kind of cool to be able to stand where John Brown would have done a lot of his work, not just as a renowned sheep farmer, but what he's truly known for: igniting the Civil War, which led to the freedom of the slaves and bringing us closer to what the founding fathers set this country up for and stated, that all men were created equal. And while we, have a lot of work to do, and as long as we keep moving forward and righting some wrongs that we have in the past, I still think we can get there and make a more perfect union. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you take the time, come on out once they finish the renovations and take a tour and learn a little more about it. Have a great day. I probably should have done this while still at the house, but John Brown was so loved in Akron that after his execution for Harper's Ferry, the bells tolled or rang for an hour in Akron. People lowered their flags to half-mast, and the city went into a state of mourning. That's the amount of influence he had between while he was here and then even after he left. So John Brown played a major role in the support for the abolitionist movement and the freeing of slaves in the North and in Ohio, Akron specifically.